Arsenal transfer news. Arsenal are monitoring Dani Olmo, with Barcelona unsure whether they will be able to register the attacking midfielder for the second half of the season. The Euro 2024 winner, 26, joined Barca from Red Bull Leipzig in a £52 million deal this past summer after starring for Spain and Germany. But his future at the new camp is already in doubt. With Barcelona's financial issues already well documented, it's emerged that Olmo has only been registered with La Liga until December 31, and there are fears he will not be able to feature for Hansi Flick's side beyond that date. Reports in Spain claim that could pave the way for Olmo to leave the club on a free agent due to a contract clause which would kick in if he cannot be registered. It's said both Arsenal and Manchester City are keeping an eye on the situation, as are Bayern Munich. Olmo has 5 goals to his name this term in 10 league appearances. Barcelona executives Deco and Joan Laporta, the club's president, are scrambling to find a solution ahead of the new year, which could leave them vulnerable to approaches from some of Europe's elite in the winter transfer window. All eyes will be on the Gunners in January, with some fans keen on the idea of Mikel Arteta and co signing a new striker to boost their title hopes, but Sky Sports pundit Jamie Redknapp says that even if Arsenal do decide to sign a new number 9, there has to be a place for Gabriel Jesus, who ended his long goal drought by scoring 5 times inside a week. Speaking on Sky Sports, Redknapp said of Jesus, "That was a big result. In this last week they've realized they've got a player still at this club who can do a job, and a really good job at that. It's important he scores goals, he's got to stay fit, and if they get someone else in January, so be it, but just have him, a player who can start and affect games, or even come off the bench, is so important." Arsenal got back to winning ways in the Premier League as they smashed Crystal Palace 5-1 at Selhurst Park on Saturday. Gabriel Jesus netted a brace, while Kai Havertz, Gabriel Martinelli and Declan Rice also found the back of the net as the Gunners moved to within just 3 points off league leaders Liverpool, who do have 2 games in hand. Arsenal may look to strengthen their squad in the upcoming January transfer window in a bid to get their title challenge back on track, and a number of players have already been linked with a potential move to the Emirates. Here, Mirror Football takes a look at the latest Arsenal transfer news. Arsenal and Gyokeres talks. Arsenal are reportedly in talks over a move for Sporting striker Victor Gyokeres, who has scored 27 goals in 25 games across all competitions so far this season. Football Transfers are reporting that Arteta is eager to sign a new goalscorer, and Arsenal are in contact with Gyokeres. It is claimed Sporting have set an asking price of around €65 million, £54 million, for the 26-year-old. The report also notes that Arsenal remain interested in RB Leipzig's Benjamin Sesko, having attempted to sign him over the summer before he ultimately decided to sign a contract extension. £50 million deal agreed. According to Spanish outlet Fichajes, Arsenal have struck an agreement in principle to sign Alberto Moleiro from Las Palmas. The report states that Arteta views Moleiro as a similar type of midfielder to club captain Martin Odegaard, and that Arsenal are set to pay his €60 million, £50 million, release clause next summer. Moleiro has impressed for Las Palmas this season, netting 4 goals in 17 games. It is claimed an official announcement about Moleiro's future could be made in the coming months. Arsenal urged to sign striker. Arsenal have been told to sign a new striker next month, with former Gunners winger Jermaine Pennant claiming they need a consistent goalscorer to win the league. A new number 9 is a priority for Arsenal. Celtic are considering bringing Kieran Tierney back to Scotland as they weigh up a January offer for the Arsenal defender. The left-back has fallen down the pecking order at the Emirates, spending last season on loan at Spanish side Real Sociedad. His contract expires in the summer, and the Gunners aren't expected to take up an option in their favour, leaving the player to look elsewhere. Tierney left Celtic to sign for Arsenal for £25 million back in 2019, and now the Scottish champions are looking at the possibility of a pre-contract agreement, but they also want to land the player on loan from January, reports The Sun. Wages could prove the only stumbling block, whilst there are other interested parties, Newcastle among them, but the Glasgow outfit are firmly leading the race for the player. Celtic's current left-back Greg Taylor hasn't come to an agreement regarding his future, with his deal due to expire in the summer. It was under Brendan Rodgers, who is now in his second stint at Parkhead, that Tierney first saw his stock rise, which led to interest from Premier League clubs before he eventually moved south of the border. Despite no longer being a starter, Tierney was once a regular at Arsenal. Throughout his time in the English capital, the 27-year-old has made 125 appearances for the Gunners. Tierney previously kept the door open to a return to Celtic, where he won numerous honours. Telling the Curry Club podcast, "I think when a player who loves the club leaves, there's always that, what if he comes back, and you can't rule anything out. I'm always going to love Celtic, I'm always going to support Celtic, So you never know in football. Tierney admitted it felt amazing to be back playing for Arsenal as they saw off Crystal Palace on Wednesday night. He said on social media, "Feels amazing to be back out at the Emirates. Thank you so much for the reception. Always grateful." On to the semis. Arsenal have continued to invest in their backline over recent